Morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Webinar Series featuring Dr. Hanna Terletska on the topic of building quantum from the ground up, how regional universities can lead the quantum workforce. A little bit about the Quantum Webinar Series. It's a partnership between the Ecosystem for Research Networking and the Northeast Big Data Innovation Hub. Wanted to make sure that everyone here is aware of the Northeast Big Data Hub's Innovation Hub's Code of Conduct. The Northeast Big Data Innovation Hub is committed to providing a supportive and welcoming environment to everyone who works, studies, and interacts with the Hub community. And promotes a safe environment free of any type of discrimination or harassment. For more information about the Code of Conduct, there will be a link provided in the chat. Our hosts for today are Florence Hudson, Executive Director of the Northeast Big Data Innovation Hub, a National Student Data Corps founder, as well as the Data Science Institute in Columbia University. Florence is also a member of the ERN Steering Committee, as I am as well. Emily Rothenberg, Program Manager for the National Student Data Corps, Northeast Big Data Innovation Hub at the Data Science Institute at Columbia University. And I am Assistant Vice President for Research and Innovation at New Jersey Edge, and also on the steering committee of the Northeast Big Data Innovation Hub. We are pleased today to welcome Dr. Hanna Terletska, who is a full professor of physics at Middle Tennessee State University and the founding director of the Quantum Research Interdisciplinary Science and Education QRISE Center. Her research background is in computational physics with a focus on disordered and strongly correlated quantum materials supported by NSF and DOE-funded projects. Hanna Terletska is a full professor of physics at Middle Tennessee State University, and we're welcome to welcome her to the Quantum Webinar Series. I'm going to pass it to you. Stop sharing.
Let me get my slides and I'll do this. Hi everyone, thank you for such a very kind introduction, and thank you Florence, Noreen, Emily, and everyone who is involved in ERN and also Northeastern Hub, Big Data Hub, Innovation Hub, for bringing us together. I think this is a very important thing that we are doing, and thank you for opportunity to be part of this collaboration. If you're not part of this collaboration, I strongly encourage you to become a part of this collaboration, because I met Florence and Faru and Noreen like 3 years ago, I think, and from day number 1 we started to collaborate. It's very friendly, supportive, and diverse environment from the sense of discipline and states represented in the community. So it's a great place to work together. So today I'm very honored to be part of this, to give you this presentation today, especially since I think I like the idea that this Quantum Education Alliance webinars are focusing on multiple topics related to quantum, because we have so many things to discuss to build a United States quantum ecosystem, from hardware, software, to peopleware, right? So I would like to focus today. We already had this two presentation that you can watch online on YouTube. I carefully watched them, and they have excellent presentations if you want to be updated on what is the current state of quantum computing and why we need quantum computing and HPC to come together. Thank you to Monica and Tori for giving wonderful talks. But today I do want to talk not about hardware or machines. I want to talk about another important subject is people, right? And especially focus is how we can build quantum ecosystem in a smaller regional universities. So I hope I will convince you today that regional, not R1 universities, and this include R2, minority serving institution, HBCUs, primary undergraduate institution, are and should be integral part of United statewide quantum ecosystem. And from the perspective, they're not just participants, but also essential leaders in the efforts. I hope I will convince you in that. Especially this is relevant now because quantum programs are extensively built all through the nations. Institutions start from very different baselines and they face different challenges. But there are some challenges which are more or less common to specific types of institutions like smaller regional universities. And I would like to give you example how you overcome some challenges and can build a meaningful quantum program and provide opportunities for every talent that we have in different states. So to motivate us why we need to do that, I would like us to take a step back in the history and just to get a big view on the problem we are looking at right now. And why it is important for academia and industry, especially for academia. Well, for example, I am from physics department, not to just focus on teaching 19th century physics, but to make sure that we keep our curriculum, we keep our research and available trainings for students relevant to the modern days, because that's absolutely important for us. So if you look from historical perspective, technologies have always been shifting the development of human civilization, right? Starting from the development of steam engines, we have industrial revolution, then electricity led to totally changes the modern life, and in the information revolution, or when we got internet, right? It was not just about connecting two computers together. It led to the how we do business, how we study, how we do even conversation like this, how we go to the doctors, right? Totally revolutionize the world we live now. And now we are in the era of entering the era of quantum technological technologies, where quantum technologies are leaving the physics lab and have the potential and are entering already the industry playground. So it's not the question of if quantum will matter, it's really the question when and who is ready to be involved. So when we talk about quantum technologies, in previous talks we had a conversation about quantum computing, but I think it's also from the perspective of today's talk, especially when we're gonna to talk about how to build United States-wide workforce, it's important to emphasize that quantum technologies are not just quantum computing, which we know have the potential to efficiently solve problems which even the largest supercomputers cannot. And this is relevant for material design, better batteries, or financial modeling, or also a logistics problem, and pharmaceutical drug discoveries, right? Another type of technologies that are relevant, that are quantum-enabled technologies, include quantum sensing. This is probably one of the most mature technologies nowadays. And these quantum sensing devices are offering us opportunities, or will offer opportunities of very, very precise measurements. And this is relevant for medical application if you want to trace the early developments of some disease, for example, for medical imaging. Also, they're very important for national defense if you want to, for example, trace submarines or detect some objects where GPS, for example, doesn't work. So it's also important for national security. And finally, another branch of quantum technology, as we all know, includes quantum computing, communication or networking, and quantum security. So quantum key distribution and also possibly building quantum internet. And this is relevant for ultra-secure communication and connecting devices, quantum devices in a similar way we connect classical devices for internet. So on this diagram on the bottom, I have a picture which shows that all these technologies are gonna have the potential to influence or transform different key sectors of our society, starting from logistics, so energy, finance, manufacturing, pharmaceutical application, and therefore it's very important for us to, therefore they're gonna to impact our society, not just in United States, but globally. And that's one of the reasons also why there is such huge global competition or urgency for building quantum technologies, enabling quantum technologies, adopting quantum technologies worldwide, right? This is the diagram on the left from QRISE report of 2024. Just 2 years before, they had a report with twice smaller number, but it just shows you that quantum is taken seriously all across the globe, with multi-billion investment from different countries. For example, China is investing around $15 billion, and United States around $5 billion, including through National Quantum Initiative Act, which we know is currently under reauthorization in the Congress. Also, this is on the diagram on the right. So in addition to investing from the government in research and development, it is realized, and this is presented by this diagram on the right by McKinsey report, that potential impact of quantum technological ecosystem. So it's projected hundreds of $billions this industry is going to bring in economic development. And also what is very important for us as humans, it's going to bring new jobs, right? But the bottom line here is that like through the history, we have seen that major technological shifts, they change economy, they change lifestyle, they change jobs, and they also change who is going to lead globally. Okay, so it is important for national security for us in the United States, and same as in every other country. This is a national security priority. We should be economically competitive in this realm, and of course, we should have a quantum-ready workforce. So that brings us to the main topic of today's discussion. How do we build quantum workforce in the United States? How do we enable this? Because one of the real bottlenecks, in addition to hardware, right, scaling, another bottleneck is workforce scaling. So let's see what are the current challenges in United States quantum workforce. So on the right, I have a figure from MIT report showing that the number of jobs with quantum in description has significantly increased since 2011, right? So there are jobs available in new quantum realms, but only, as had been shown in this paper, only about a third of quantum jobs demand can be met by current university pipeline. So we have a shortage of trainees in that area. Also, this agrees with finding from Quantum Economic Development Consortium, which reported that 60% of companies didn't meet the hiring goals. So there are more jobs available as trainees, ready workforce. And the shortage of quantum workforce has been highlighted in numerous reports NSF reports, DOE reports, but also in multiple papers. And specifically, for example, in this presidential reports on quantum information science preparation, it has been explicitly stated that the field is currently creating more job openings that can be filled. And we have jobs available in academia, industry, national labs, and government. And in order to address this challenge, we have to make sure that we provide opportunities and expand opportunities for development of quantum workforce all through the country, not in just selected regions. So what type of jobs are available in quantum areas? So again, one of the things that I want to mention here, because it's often seen that quantum is just physics. So on this graph on the left, I want to emphasize that it's not just physics. Physics is important and physics skills are important, but it's different STEM degrees are important. So types of jobs that we are looking for includes engineers, technicians, scientists, chemists, physicists, and this graph has different coloring, and it just shows that, like for example here, orange shows that jobs which don't require specific quantum skills, and blue is the type of jobs which require specific rigorous quantum training. So you can see, you can find jobs, you have a mixture of quantum jobs available for you, and some of them require probably some upskilling, and some of them require, for example, to take PhD in quantum. For example, if you are working as error correction scientist, you should have training in quantum. Or if you're experimentalist, you need to build a quantum optics lab, then that requires training in quantum. But for some designers or data scientists, just major STEM degree is enough. We also need educators, we need technicians, and what I find recently is we need people who are able to communicate quantum at different levels. So we need policy experts, strategies in quantum, we need quantum for business. This is required everywhere now. Also, what kind of degrees do you need to find a job in quantum? So this is shown on the graph on the right. So different colors represent different degrees. So violet color is bachelor, red is master, and green is PhDs. And I think the other orange is associate degrees. So again, you can see that you can find jobs in quantum with different mixture of degrees. So you don't have, the main message is you don't have to have PhD in quantum to find a job in quantum. But again, it depends on the type of the job. For example, for error correction scientists, you better have, it's very likely you will need to have PhD in quantum. So if the theoretical physicist or experimental physicist. So if the job is really in a quantum narrow demand field, specialized field, then PhD is required, but there are many jobs which you can get in quantum with a bachelor degree, for example, technician or tester, and etc., some engineer. So that's a second message regarding the jobs. I also want a third message that I want to communicate is that quantum is beyond physics. So I already mentioned this before, but it's important to understand quantum by default is interdisciplinary science. So it requires collaboration between physics, or it requires expertise from physics, computer science, engineering, and etc. So, and this has been highlighted in this reference on the bottom left, where we have many quantum programs. While focused on physics, there are many programs which are interdisciplinary and are based in multiple departments. And that's important to know because we don't want students to miss opportunities by having some misconception what type of job or what type of skills and jobs they need. And finally, I would like to bring this to your attention. So this on the bottom is statistics from Boston Consulting Group, which they have done some study for Chicago Quantum Exchange, and they have found that, and they reported that by 2035, we will have a need for 840,000 jobs. So almost 1 million jobs will be available in quantum. But what is very important is that 70% of these jobs, right, around 2/3, will be available for people with just bachelor degree, and 32% will be available for graduates with associate degree. So these are community college students, graduates. And that's, I think that's statistics, which brings me to one of the home take messages from this talk, is Arthur universities can play a major role in meeting these national quantum workforce demands, right? We are training majority of students with bachelor degrees, right? Partnership with community colleges is another direction that we have to do. And it's important to do if you want to close a gap or build the bridge for the quantum workforce development in the United States. So let's quickly now look where are we now with these efforts. What is the current training landscape in the United States? And I like to often say that when I present these things, that while talent can be found everywhere, right? But the opportunities are not there everywhere. So that's the message from this slide, and I hope I will communicate it properly. So, for example, on the graph on the left, that's an old graph, but that was initial study to show how a quantum program distributed all across the United States. So these numbers represent a number of courses in quantum taught in the States. And I'm from Tennessee. You can see there was nothing, excuse me, in 2021. But mostly, as reported in this paper, most quantum programs have been developed in coastal region or big R1 universities. That was seen as a trend. Most recent study, and I believe they are also partnering with ERN. We have them on our team. So in this, if you look at this website, you will find this data, which shows a distribution of quantum program at different levels, from undergraduate level to a master level and doctoral level. So in this study, the researchers have examined more than almost 1,500 institutions in the United States at different levels. And they identified 61 institutions with QIC program, right? Very, very small portion. And what is again found that majority of these schools, of these programs, 51 out of 61 identified, are in highly concentrated in PhD granting institution. So the take-home message here is that it has been reported multiple times that there is disproportionality in types of institution offering QIC program. There is geographical disproportionality in access to quantum program. And what we observe that in majority, smaller R2, PI, minority serving institution, HBCUs, are not included yet in QIC landscape, okay? But then, as I mentioned in earlier slide, based on the quantum jobs market, we need to include this R2 PI MSI institution in training program, because most majority of United States STEM degrees come from non-R1 institution. R1 institution probably train around 30%. I couldn't find the exact number, but the closest, roughly 30% of bachelor degrees in STEM. So the rest is taught by other institutions, small regional institutions. And those are the people who can contribute 70% of these projected jobs in future, right? Another thing that happens that we should work really hard to avoid is to design quantum talent limitation. What do I mean by this? In small institutions like R2, PI, MSIs, etc., quantum workforce happens in this institution, majority of students, big portion of the students are first-generation college students. Many of them are coming from low-income families and from underrepresented groups. So if we don't provide training opportunities for this kind of students, if we don't provide research, we don't build research program in such institution, we are creating artificially quantum talent barriers in United States. So now let's look closely on what kind of challenges are present in small institutions. And you can find these challenges in different papers. So I cite here one of the papers, but these challenges have been mostly identified even from my own experience. But I find that they are very, very similar to what it's reported in the literature. So one of the biggest challenge is that resources gap, right? In small institutions, if you want to build quantum program, first of all, it's very hard to find quantum-ready faculty. So small institutions, at least in the very beginning, just like us, heavily rely on upskilling the existing faculty. Hiring new faculty in small institutions is really a challenge because administration usually administration looks at the challenges administration is looking at those institutions is student enrollment. In small institutions, student enrollment is not often going up, it's often going down. So justifying a new tenure track position, it's extremely difficult. Okay. Another thing that is limiting a small institution from building quantum program is that there are no startups. There might be no quantum labs available because they are expensive. There is no access to the infrastructure, okay, and the lack of federal support. Next challenge is, which is often identified, is faculty teaching load, right? Faculty in small institutions teach from 2 to 4 courses per semester, and that limits their time for application for the grant, so they don't have enough experience to apply for the grant, or even they apply, they might probably often fail because that's a skill you have to develop. And so it's become a chicken and an egg problem. However, we found in our program that if you are research active, teaching load can be reduced. So this is something that small institutions should discuss with the chairs, the deans. If you want to build program, teaching load can be negotiable. Another thing that is found is that non-R1 institutions are often in isolation. What do I mean by that? When we build big quantum centers across the United States, DOE centers or NSF centers, and this can be built around a research institute or national labs. So very often small institutions are not included there automatically. It's not somebody's fault. It's just this is how it is done. And in order to, because if you don't have research in quantum, so it's hard to justify your presence there. So, but if you want to, then you have to actively seek out for partnership and in such collaborations. Another gap is that trust gap, right? I have witnessed this in the beginning of my career. Funders and industry partners default to R1 collaboration, and which is understandable. So non-R1 institution must overcome the perception that they are not serious players, that they cannot contribute meaningfully to the collaboration. So it's important to make sure that if you build a program, that you excel in what you promise to do, and you build a proper reputation of your program in small institution. It can be smaller scope, but you deliver on what you promise. Student preparation variation. Small institution, we have more cohort of students which come from backgrounds where they never had STEM education or some STEM training. So we have to design our program for learners who arrive with no prior STEM experience. So things have to be adjusted when you teach students. And I think the most important challenge is that to build quantum program requires funding. I will show you today's example of MTSU, but MTSU program will not be built without National Science Foundation and then later without DOE funding. NSF and DOE and other agencies funding is absolutely critical for small institutions. We don't have big endowments. We don't have big chunk of money at the research offices in our institutions. So we heavily rely on external funding. So I'll just summarize the main challenges: lack of expertise, infrastructure, funding, and quantum ecosystems that university can belong to. So you're not in isolation, excuse me. So NSF has recognized this challenge and they created the program, we call it Expand QSC. I think I guess I will be forever grateful to this program because it made not just when I got the grant from this program, it doesn't only allows PI to succeed and students, of course, but that program enable institutional changes, but also regional changes. So the impact of the program, I hope I will show you. I'll show you in a few slides. Was huge. But the bottom line here is that because of lack of funding, a small institution heavily rely on these external NSF or DOE grants, and there is a challenge. We have witnessed this recently too, right? When the grant expires, program risk disappearance, right? Disappearance. So we do need to have federal funding programs specifically to small institutions so they can sustain the momentum and they also can build the programs. So remember I showed you the map in 2021 of quantum program across United States. And this is a new map. And this is from Expand QSC report, NSF report. So these stars represent programs, quantum programs enabled by NSF Expand QSC. So, and you can see we have much more distribution and much more presence and distribution across universities in quantum space right now. So the program, I think, was funded for around three years, 2022, 23, 24. Now it is suspended. I think 1 year is gap, and hopefully we'll get funding to renew the program. So what I want to mention that, as you can see from funding statistics, different HBCUs, Hispanic Serving Institution have been funded, EBSCO institution, and more than 28 non-R1 institutions, just like MTSU, have been funded as of 2023. So, which means in 28 plus institutions, quantum program have been built from scratch. And that's a big success. And I think this is really great, huge thank you to NSF for that. Now, so what did we do at MTSU and how we built our program literally from ground up? And I think important, what I want to, I think my message would be that in order to build a quantum program from ground up, you need to have funding plus collaboration. And you can get funding through collaboration, okay? So let me tell you about MTSU. So MTSU is located literally in the Middle Tennessee, it's Middle Tennessee State University, and it is located literally in the geographical center of Tennessee. Okay, so we have Nashville attractions of Tennessee, Nashville, Dollywood, and we have Oak Ridge National Lab. Okay, in 2017, MTSU is a research university since 2022. So in 2022, we were just on the bottom of our two schools, right? At the same time, we are one of the largest regional universities we are the largest university in Tennessee training undergraduate students. So we have more than 20,000 students. About 65% of them are Pell eligible or first generation college students. We train the typical Tennesseans population, so median income of our students is around 71,000, right? So typically when we train those students, they're gonna very likely stay in Tennessee. So we are literally training Tennessee workforce. So when I came into Tennessee in 2017, to MTSU, sorry. So up to probably 2020, the reality was no quantum program, no quantum infrastructure, so we didn't have like labs, no quantum faculty beyond one person, beyond me, and not anyone, and we were not part of any quantum collaborative at that time. But we had very strong STEM preparation. Physics department is very strong in preparing undergraduate students, for example. We have proximity to Nashville because we are up in Nashville area, specifically to multiple HBCUs in the area. And the biggest gems that we have in Tennessee is that we have a national lab. It's on different side of Tennessee, but with 2.5 hours drive, you can get there. Okay? So this is what we had. We started from this, and this is what we currently have at MTSU. So in 2023, we had Quantum Initiative, and in fall 2025, we have launched a Quantum Research Center at MTSU. And now MTSU is leading actually Middle Tennessee Quantum Consortium, which is partnership between 4 Nashville-based universities, MTSU, Tennessee State, Meharry and Fisk, and Oak Ridge National Lab. We have secured 8 federal funds, grants, 6 NSF and 2 DOE, total $8.8 million. We now building actively connections with industry, MTE, these are electric companies in Tennessee. We have connection with INQ, Collab from Chattanooga, and Xanadu from Canada. So currently our center is focusing on research and workforce development, and I will discuss this in the next slides. But before I do that, I would like to give you a timeline, so to give you ideas where we started and how we got from zero to where we are. I think the biggest contribution to success of our program was that in 2020, MTSU got the first NSF Career Award in quantum material research. That was a historical moment for MTSU, but that was the moment of establishing credibility that we can do high quality research in small institutions like ours, and that helped to build initial research expertise with a specifically focus on quantum material focus, right? But that also helped to build connection based on that grant with other institutions who do research in quantum materials, okay? Then in 2022, I piloted the first quantum computing course at MTSU. We had around 17 students. And that year, I think that was spring, and in fall, I asked our partner from Nashville, Fisk, which is HBCU, if I can volunteer to teach their students that course, because that was a pilot course. And that was a very important moment for us because it enabled student training through two institutions, but also help us to build partnership between our institution. Based on that, we were able to apply, well, we were able to have a significant amount of background and infrastructure built in the curriculum build, which I should say, not infrastructure, to apply for National Science Foundation Expand QIC Track 1. We were the first institution in Tennessee to get that one, but also that grant enabled to build the first in our institution quantum information research thrust. We didn't have that before, so that enabled new research direction. So as you can see now, our program has quantum materials plus quantum information thrust, and with that grant, we were able to launch the first in Tennessee Bachelor of Science concentration in quantum. Also that year, in partnership with other universities from Tennessee, we were able to, via co-PIs on that grant, we secured a training grant in quantum computing. And that brought like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 universities together. Based on that momentum, in 2023, we launched the MTSU-wide Quantum Initiative. we got $0 from the university, but we got quantum and MTSU website. So it helped us to promote our program worldwide, right? And we got approval for hiring one tenure track faculty in quantum areas. We specifically decided to choose hire in quantum materials because our quantum materials trust already had one person, me, and to enforce this trust, we hired somebody from Oak Ridge, and that also helped us to build partnership with Oak Ridge National Lab. Based on that, the moment we hired them, we were able to secure Department of Energy Renew grant. And that grant, again, remember we built partnership with Nashville areas. We hired somebody in quantum materials even to reinforce our program. And that led us to securing this 2.2 million grant from Department of Energy, which brings together several Nashville-based universities and partnership with Oak Ridge. So the idea of this grant was that we build this cluster consortium in Middle Tennessee, and we train our students, we train our faculty and postdocs, and this and our trainees are able to work directly with Oak Ridge scientists, but also have summer internships in Oak Ridge. And this all culminated in 2025, where we launched the Quantum Center at MTSU. And that enabled us to hire one more tenure track faculty. Now we're expanding expertise. So we hired fully for quantum sensing and networking. And meanwhile, on these grants, NSF and DOE grants, we were able to hire postdocs in the areas that we are still missing in expertise. But anyways, we went from just quantum material expertise. So now our center has quantum materials, quantum computing, quantum control, quantum sensing, networking expertise. So you build it gradually. In the beginning, you rely on upscaling of faculty. Then you hire short-term researchers like postdocs, and you apply for grants that helps you to secure some tenure track positions, and you gradually build expertise. Maybe I will skip our research areas, but I mentioned quantum materials, quantum controls, and quantum computing. And this is the areas which are important for, as I mentioned, major areas of quantum technologies. And the idea was to make sure that we have expertise in this area so we can collaborate with other institutions in these areas, okay? Because instead of focusing on one cluster, quantum materials, for example, I'm skipping because I'm running out of time. So I'll go directly to quantum education and quantum workforce development. Our idea at MTSU, because we went through this by ourselves, right? We had zero, and we understand that we as professors are failing our students, and if you don't change the curriculum, if you don't build new curriculum, right? For that reason, our mission was to democratize access to quantum education in institutions like ours. And we were able to secure, I mentioned to you, a quiz. This is through NSF Excellent Program grant. So this is collaboration between multiple institutions in Tennessee to build quantum curriculum, exchange curriculum, have common events in quantum. And just this last fall, we secured NSF NRT grant on building a quantum curriculum for graduate students, quantum NAI. The motivation for this education and workforce development component of our program is national challenge of shortage of quantum workforce. But another motivation is that Middle Tennessee is one of the fastest growing area in Tennessee. So this is, I listed here 4 major cities in Tennessee. We see that Nashville is growing very, very quickly, but we see that the slope of Murfreesboro, this is where MTSU is basically the same in Nashville. So this area is the fastest growing in the whole Tennessee. Meanwhile, Knoxville and Chattanooga, they're eastern and southern Tennessee. So in this area, we have industry coming, startups are building. We have family coming, right? And family have kids, so they have to go to college, and they will probably stay in this area. So we have to offer programs for modern programs relevant to modern needs for those families. So in our Quantum at MTSU program, for that reason, we have 3 components: Inspire, which is K-12 level; Teach, so we have some formal degrees in quantum; and Train. So let me go through this very quickly. Inspire is basically quantum outreach. You need to go to K-12. You have to go work with middle school and high schools, because if you want them interested in quantum, there where you have to start. You are not training them quantum physicists or quantum scientists. You just want them to be aware and to be interested and to be inspired. For that reason, we ran summer camps in quantum in our university for high school students. It's very, very hands-on, but we start with basic of quantum computing, qubits, and etc. And at the end of the day, so 3-day summer camp, students are programming on IBM quantum computer. We have developed different kind of workshops and outreach materials, like it can be from 1 hour to 4 hours. But I find that workshops and outreach are very important for inspiring the interest. And that's a bridge for students to go later on and take the class with you in quantum, okay, after you inspired the interest. And currently, this is my student Connor. He's fantastic in hands-on. So he's developing a toolkit to visualize trapped ions, right? This is one of the quantum technologies, and we hope that we will be able to distribute these toolkits to high school teachers, so kids can play with that and simulate, and also to see how you actually trap ions on quantum computers. So I think that's a neat idea. Again, he's super talented. I'm very fortunate to have him. But anyways, since 2023, we were able to train 200 students through K-12 outreach. Next step is educate, so the formal programs at the university. And as I mentioned before, with Expand QSC grant, we were able to secure to launch the first quantum concentration in Tennessee in fall 2024. Concentrations are not that difficult to launch. In the beginning, students, the quantum classes were like electives, but to do that, you have to, concentration requires less approvals. And to do this, you have to really work very, very closely with your department chair. So you have to have your department chair an ally, and then with dean and etc. But I have been very fortunate to have a very good team, and we were able to do that. We have already up to 10 students who declared concentrations. I do see the challenge because this is very new, and students know professional concentration, professional physics, and quantum concentration. When it is new, they would rather take the classes than declare the concentration, because they're still not sure if this is going to give them a job. So we have to do a better, so there is some uncertainty there about the novelty. We should do a better job in advertisement, I believe too. But I also want to mention that as part of this quantum undergraduate training efforts, we have launched a hybrid course, which was taught at MTSU, Fisk, Tennessee State, Austin Peay, University of West Florida. So now we go to Florida, and California University. And the idea of this hybrid course was that Fisk or TSU or Austin Peay, they don't have any faculty to teach quantum computing course, okay? But doing this in class and online hybrid version of the class, we enable students to take classes in those institutions by joining our class. So we enable quantum training, not just in our institution, but in other institutions. I want to emphasize this is a distribution of majors in our class. So we have a lot of computer science majors: physics, electrical engineering, math, bio, data science, chemistry, mechatronics. Again, it emphasizes that quantum information science is not physics domain anymore. It's very interdisciplinary. It brings some challenges how you teach this course. It's not that easy if you teach to different students' background, especially if you want to talk about quantum hardware. That's a challenge. But anyway, since 2024, we train about 150 students have been trained. Finally, is another component which is absolutely critical, we find, especially if you want to land job in quantum, is hands-on training and internships. So through Oak Ridge collaborations, our undergraduate can go to summer internships, but we also have success by partnering with local, well, not just local companies. We had success of graduate students taking one class in quantum, my class, an undergraduate class in quantum, and securing industry internships in different companies. In fact, Yusuf will be our first quantum graduate, PhD quantum graduate in quantum computing. He's defending next week. And he went for internship in this company and they offered him a job. Okay, so through internship, you can really land a job. But without that internship, probably he wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know. Finally, I would like to mention this DOE Renew program, which brings together multiple institutions in the area of quantum material research and a partnership with ORNL. This is absolutely great opportunity for MTSU, Tennessee State, and Fisk University. The partnership is designed in such a way that we are complementing our expertise. So again, I mentioned to you, collaboration is absolutely important. MTSU, for example, has a strength in theoretical study of quantum materials. Tennessee State, on the other hand, they have an actual lab where you can grow, characterize, and synthesize quantum materials, right? And Fisk has very good computational program. So we benefit from each other expertise, which are absolutely critical for this domain of science. So last fall, we ran our first Tennessee Quantum workshop or mini conference in Nashville. You can see this as our invited speakers, but it was designed specifically for undergraduates. For many of them, it was the first conference ever to graduate level. And we designed it in such a way that the topics would go from quantum materials to AI and quantum computing. We also have industry partners to come to give talks, like IonQ came and Xanadu. This is a picture from the conference. We have students from 20 institutions, 7 states, and 3 countries, joining online as well. I believe this was quite successful. Why consortium or alliances are very important? Shared curriculum, shared mentorship of students, access to infrastructure which is missing in your institutions, reducing risks for individual institutions to take big initiatives. This partnership brings also collaboration with Oak Ridge National Lab and builds a pipeline to Tennessee-ready quantum-ready workforce that can learn, go and work in Oak Ridge National Lab and run different joint events together, educational events. And on the last part of my talk, I would like to mention another signature program of our quantum at MTSU. It's Train the Trainer program for teachers. So it's a new field. Nobody knows how to, well, many institutions, small institutions especially, they don't have an expert. They don't know what to teach and how to teach. So we brought faculty to campus where we show some modules of what we implement in our classes. Then we partner with Curica company, Jorge here in the middle, who brought us their quantum training workshop, 1-week quantum workshop for teachers. That was very much fun. And here we brought in high school teachers to participate. And recently last year, we went to present quantum module workforce at American Association of Physics Teachers. So up to now, we train around 70 teachers in quantum. And now we are working with our county schools to develop, they agreed to develop a year-long quantum computing course, which would be piloted across all schools in our county. So they are very, very open to this collaboration. Finally, what I find right now, as you can see, this is the progress, and you have to make small step before you get to another step. What we see right now, it's absolutely critical to build partnership if you want to build a strong quantum ecosystem. And this partnership should include government, academia, national lab, and private industry, because all of them require workforce. So we partner with different academia partners in Tennessee, basically everyone, plus 20 institutions out nationally. Partnership with National Lab is important for access to facility and expertise. And what is new is now we are actively working on partnership with industry. So we are fortunate that some industries coming to MTSU and starting quantum programs in Tennessee. Like INQ recently invested $22 million in Tennessee. EPB is a national leader in quantum commercial network, and etc. What is very new, maybe for the last year or so, Tennessee government started to work very closely with academia for Tennessee economic and workforce development. So we often meet with this department, and we have conversation how we can build more R&D and how can we lead for quantum technologies from academia to commercialization. And this is important. And one of the things why it was very important for MTSU, smaller R2 institution, to build this quantum program is because now we have a seat at the table when we talk about statewide quantum efforts. Just this February, our Governor Lee announced Tennessee-wide quantum initiative. Our Senator Marsha Blackburn is one of the supporters of National Quantum Initiative Reauthorization Act, right? Oranel has renewed their quantum center with $125 million investment last fall. So there is a lot of talking about quantum all across Tennessee, and it is important that you have a program that can be part, that can contribute and be part of the conversation. So why I'm mentioning this? Because quantum programs are statewide quantum programs, are not just in Tennessee, but in US-wide, there are many US-wide initiatives, and it's important to be involved. So we know there are initiatives in Illinois and Maryland, right? New York, as well Texas, Florida, and etc. So if you're planning to build or you're building quantum program in your university, this is a way of how to be involved in statewide efforts. And this is my final slide, so I'm rushing through the end. So I hope I convince you that it is possible to build to build quantum program in small institution and gradually scaling up. You might start with one person, but it is possible. And with temporary employees like postdocs and etc., and apply for grants, secure grants, apply higher or justify the higher of the tenure track. But involvement of R2 institution or small institution, because I mentioned HBCU and MSIs, etc., is absolutely important. It's not the question. They have to be important, included for scaling up nationwide quantum workforce. I also, again, encourage you to work with ERN and Northeastern Big Data Hub. As you can see, they bring us together, and there is a lot of opportunities to collaborate, meet other people, learn from each other. And I put my contacts here. If you want to collaborate, partner, please don't hesitate to contact me. Or if you just have some questions, I would be more than happy to talk to you. And thank you for the opportunities to present.
Thank you, Hannah. This was just amazing, the amount of information and comprehensive experience that you've shared with us today. You've built a model that we will all benefit from, and it's amazing how much you've accomplished in such a short period of time. So we want to open it up to Q&A, and Hannah, if you could allow me to share screen, please.
Okay, I will stop sharing. Thank you so much for your kind words. Appreciate that.